afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another one of ChildLine's life lesson videos. My name is Aaron George, and I am one of ChildLine's outreach officers. And today, our topic is about managing perceived setbacks and accepting the fact that sometimes things may not go as we plan all the time. And this particular life lesson is really being motivated by the fact that many students at the C.S.E.C and the C.A.P.E level who would have received their results on September the 22nd, 2020, throughout the region would have expressed disappointment with the grades that they would have gotten. And at the organization, as a child friendly organization, it is important for us to put forward a statement just to give these persons a very, very important reminder because we know that it can be very tragic, at least in terms of the experience that some of you all may be having. And before I continue with the video, I just want to give you all two very important points, which would really and truly be the main message or the main takeaway from this video today. The first message that I really want to let you all know is that it is not the end of the world. Many times at various levels, whether it be SEA, CSEC, CAPE, university, you may feel some level of, oh my, if I don't do this or I don't perform the way that I want to perform, things are going to be devastating for me. I'm not going to be able to get the job that I want. I may not necessarily be able to live the life that I hope to live. Yes, of course, disappointment can be very difficult for us to deal with sometimes. However, it is not the end of the world. That's thing number one. And I'll give you some examples or give you some reasons why I'm saying that. And the second message that I want you to take home is that failure at the end of the day, big or small, it's a part of life. And it's something that you're never ever going to be able to get away from. It's just natural. And it is important as individuals that we learn to develop our skills in terms of coping with failures or coping with things that we may believe may be an obstacle in our path as we try to accomplish our goals or achieve certain objectives. So, to help put this message into context, I just want to share with you all very briefly a few situations or a few people who may have been successful. So, once upon a time, there would have been a woman, or actually a young girl, and she was born in a working class poverty family. Her mother had her as a teenager, and at the age of 14 years old, she actually was raped, and she also became pregnant. Shortly after having the baby passed away, and eventually, she continued on with her life, starting off in journalism, to one day be told by her supervisor that she was not fit for television. Who am I talking about? Oprah Winfrey. Another, 62 years old with only $105 in his pocket and a recipe for chicken, being denied by over 1,000 restaurants at the age of 62 and getting one opportunity from a small restaurant just outside of Utah after you've been rejected so many times, provided an outlet or provided an avenue for this other person to establish what we know today as Kentucky Fried Chicken, and this is none other than Colonel Sanders. Also, we have Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, all of these people, millionaires, billionaires, all dropped out of school, did not complete their degree, did not get their diploma. We also have Ellen DeGeneres. Many people know that famous talk show host, did not complete school either. Kofi, the rap star, she's very young currently, and she's also very successful, having won a Grammy. However, she also had very humble beginnings where She grew up with a single parent household. She lived in a community where there was a lot of gun violence, a lot of curfews, a lot of shootings. And even though she may not have been directly exposed to it because of the parenting style that her mother chose, she still made it her business to get out of the situation that she was in. And at the age of 12, she started playing the guitar, self taught, might I add. And today, she's she's being described as one of the world's most forward thinking and positive teenagers with a message to give all of the youths. There's another one, local, Trinidad and Tobago here. There was a man living in Togo, and he would have gotten his, as a young boy, he would have gotten his ideas in terms of what he could possibly become in the future through pelting mango. And of course, this is none other than Keyshawn Walcott, who would have won an Olympic gold medal for Trinidad and Tobago in javelin. What is the point that I'm trying to bring home with making mention of all these people? Each and every one of them had many, many obstacles in their way as they journeyed to get to that point of success. And as an individual, as a part of life, as you journey, you are going to be faced with many challenges. And it's important for all our SEA, our C.S.E.C, all our students, our universities, even parents and for the guardians, to keep in mind and to remember that you know what? Life will go on at the end of the day. And it's not about the challenges that we actually get faced with, it's about the way that we actually choose to respond to the challenges or the circumstances that we're now dealing with. Yeah? So all of these persons would have had challenges in their way, and all of them are successful. To the youths who would have gotten their devastating results, my message to you is to remember that at the end of the day, things will go bad. There will be moments, and I know it sounds a bit heavy, but in life, things don't always go the way that we want it to go. And the sooner we're able to start preparing to deal with the little setbacks that we will have along the way, the better we'll be able to get back up every time we get knocked down by life. And the thing with life is, it's not about how hard you could hit, it's about how hard you could get hit and continue moving towards your goals. It is going to be difficult, it is going to be frustrating at times. We understand that. However, we want you to also accept and understand that that doesn't mean that you are less worthy, less valuable, or less capable of becoming successful later on in life. There's a term in psychology that we call post traumatic growth. And essentially, what it's is when a person experiences something that's challenging in their life, and it can be anything. It all depends on the individual. It could be death, it could be loss of a job, a diagnosis of a physical illness, mental illness, anything of this sort. And the individual, after having gone through that traumatic experience or having that bad news broken to them, they find a deeper psychological and even spiritual meaning for the life that they live. So they don't let the challenges stop them from trying to achieve their goals. Sometimes what actually happens is that these persons set higher goals. And you know what? They surpass those goals that they have set. Of course, dealing with the trauma and dealing with the adjustments to not getting things the way that you wanted it to work out is going to be a little difficult sometimes, and it's not always easy to have a positive outlook immediately after a difficult situation or frustrating situation. But if you give it some time and you take some time to reflect and to think about it and to make that decision that you're actively going to work on getting better and overcoming the challenge, that's what's going to get you to that point of post-traumatic growth. After any situation that you find yourself in, I want you all to know that it is possible for you to come out of it. All you have to do is tell yourself that you could come out of it. And once you believe that you could come out of it, you are going to find a way, one way or the other, to get out of that situation. And at ChildLine, we just wanted we felt the need to put forward this message and to let you all know that setbacks, they are normal. And we titled this particular video Managing Perceived Setbacks because and Unexpected Results, because at the end of the day, we may only be thinking that it is a setback in our life when in reality it may be something that's actually going to propel us further into the life that we want, deeper into the career that we want to have, and allow us to attain that status that we want to achieve. Yeah? There's actually several studies that show, and there's one bit of research that says that scientists who would have had several failures earlier in their career would have actually went on to greater success than those scientists who would have had success full situations happen to them early in their career. In other words, when you have difficult situation, it only prepares you for the worst that's to come. And the thing is, you'll be ready for it. You will be ready for it. And it's not going to seem like that now, you know. It never will seem like that in the moment because you're so clouded with all the other frustrations, maybe the comments from your parents, the thoughts that you're having with yourself, the looks that you think you're getting from other people, the way that you feel, having to manage the disappointments and all of that. All of that is normal, and it will have a period where you feel a bit frustrated and you feel a bit out of it. Know that that is okay. That's a part of the process. And if you don't go through that process of getting back up from the fall, then you don't learn to get up. You have to fall in order to learn to get back up. If you're standing all the time, you don't know what it's like to get up. So, just putting forward a few things in terms of how we can manage setbacks. Like I said, the two things I want you all to take away from this video is that one, it's never the end of the world, it's not the end of the world, and two, failure is a part of life. We have to learn to manage our setbacks, and the first step in doing that, acknowledge that setbacks are normal. If we have this idea in our minds that when we have a setback, it's going to pose a greater hindrance for us in accomplishing greater goals, then by just thinking that in itself, we are keeping ourselves back. What we need to do is tell ourselves, hey, this situation is going to make me stronger in order to jump over the next hurdle that's going to come. Yes, so you have to know that setbacks are normal. Each and every person walking on this face of this earth will experience a setback in one form or the other. And it's all up to that individual to decide, okay, this is how I'm going to deal with it, this is how I'm going to treat with it, and this is the step that I'm going to take moving forward. After that, you also, part of acknowledging that setbacks are normal is don't deny that the failure happened. Or don't deny that the disappointment happened, or that the hurt happened, or that you missed your goal. Don't deny the fact. Accept the fact that here what? I tried, I did what I could have done, and it didn't work. It didn't work out in my favor this time around. It does not mean that it will never work out in your favor. Right? Don't beat yourself up. You have to forgive yourself. And once you start forgiving yourself, you afford yourself the opportunity to try again. If we have it in our minds that I'm never going to do this again, because if I go and I do this thing again and I fail once, or I fail twice, or I fail three times, then clearly something is wrong with me, then you're going to be shortchanging yourself. Think about it. If the colonel stopped at the first time, the second time, or the third time when he pitched his recipe to all these restaurants and they would have said no, do you think that today you would have the luxury of eating KFC that I know almost every single person loves? Yeah, we won't have it. The failures, they are normal. So don't beat yourself up. Forgive yourself. And you have to keep in mind that you were writing this exam during a period in time where the whole world would have been turned upside down. You have to be thanked and you also have to be praised for your bravery and for your courage in simply just getting up that day and being able to go to go to the exam. Schools were closed. We had people losing their jobs. Families were starting to become broken. There were so many conflicts taking place within the household. And on top of that, you had to find a way to study and to get the work into your mind. And you did that to some extent. You did that. There should be no reason for you to think that you're not going to be able to be successful because you didn't perform the way that you wanted to perform at this point in time. You need to always keep in mind that it is possible, and you have to give yourself some credit that you had a task that not many other generations got to experience. I remember when I was going to write essay, I cried so much that morning, so much. In the exam, I was crying. Snot was running out of my nose, going into my mouth, and I was eating that because I was so nervous during the examination. And imagine you who didn't have to go to school, or you weren't able to go to school. You had to adapt to online learning. Some of you had to teach yourselves situations and sessions and go through classes and deal with digital poverty, because some of us may not have had the laptops or the tablets or the internet, and then mommy's quarreling, or daddy's trying to scramble to get the money. And there was so many things happening, and you still showed up and you went to that exam, and you deserve credit for that. So hats off to you all. Even though the results may not have been what you wanted it to be, you still got up and you did what you could have done. You put your best foot forward. And you need to remind yourself of that. You need to know that. You need to keep that in mind. Anytime you feel that, hey, get this one. I wrote this exam and I didn't get the results that I want. This clearly means that my life is not going to go the way that you want. I want you to stop yourself right there. And I want you to tell yourself, it is not the end of the world. I had to tell myself that in the exam when it started, and I was just crying. I was just crying. I was like, no, you need to wake up. You need to get yourself together and be mindful that you're not the first, and you're certainly not going to be the last. So do what you can. Analyze the situation and ask yourself, how can I improve the next time around if there's going to be a next time around? And also ask yourself, what is going to be my next step? You want to learn the lessons that come from this experience, because not many people have the opportunity of writing an examination during a pandemic. As much as it may seem like a disadvantage to you, the individuals, at this point in time in your lives, 10, 15 years down the road, when you're sharing this story with others, you'll be telling them about COVID-19 and how suddenly schools were closed, and then online teaching happened, and then you had to be in all these Zoom sessions, and you had to learn the work for yourself, and then you had to go and write this exam, and you were prepared for it in April at first, and then they postponed the exam, and then they didn't know when the exam was going to be. That's a lot to deal with. That's a lot to deal with. And also, you can find comfort in the fact that if you didn't get the results that you wanted, there are many, many, many other persons who feel that way. St. Lucia, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, all of these countries have, all of these islands, they have written to to C.A.P.E to query these results, because it clearly is a situation that has been experienced on a regional level. You need to tell yourself, it happened, life goes on, it's not the end of the world, and that things in life will not always go the way that we want it to go. So, what I want you all to do, what I'm asking you all to do, is to forgive yourselves. To tell yourselves that, here what? I didn't do it this time. I didn't get it the way that I wanted to get it at first. But you know what? I'm going to get it the next time. And if not that time, the time after. But put your best foot forward. And the more you beat yourself up, is the more you're going to keep yourself back. Think about it. Think of yourself like an arrow. The only way for an arrow to be shot forward is to be pulled back. And the further back you get pulled, is the further you're going to be propelled into the future, into greatness, into success. The further out of poverty you're going to come, the further you're going to go into having good health, the further you're going to go into developing strong relationships with the people that are around you. That's what you want. The setbacks, the challenging situations will help you to grow. It may not always be on the scale of getting results that you were not pleased with. Sometimes it may be things like you didn't get the snack that you want that day, or you didn't get a call from somebody that you hope you would have gotten a call, or maybe you didn't get the job that you applied for. Whatever it may be, know that setbacks in life, they are normal, and also they are necessary for teaching us about ourselves and giving us an opportunity to grow and to overcome. So, my message is simple. It is very, very rare that people who are successful have a smooth run at life. And you have to keep in mind that a slip does not mean a fall, and that a bad day does not mean a bad life. You have a lot of options. You are only limited by your imagination. So, I encourage you, think about what you want to do. Ask yourself the question, what do I want to do today? So what? The results may not have been what I wanted to be, but there are so many people who literally did not even go to school and they've been able to accomplish all of their goals. If they could do it, why can't I? And the thing is, you can. You can do it. You have to forgive yourself. You have to remind yourself that you did this exam in a very, very unpredictable timing in the world. These are unprecedented times. The new normal is the new term that's floating around. But you know what? I want you to stop thinking about the new normal to some extent, and I want you to start thinking about the next normal. What's going to come next? How am I going to make myself better next year, 2021? All right, so 2020 wasn't the year that you thought it was going to be. That's okay. That's okay because things don't always go as planned. 2021 may not go as planned either, but still have your plans. Have a plan A, have a plan B, have a plan C. And you have 26 letters in the alphabet, so you could definitely come up with quite a few plans. Do it, employ it, and forgive yourself. Remind yourselves that at the end of the day, life must go on. And there's no health without mental health, so you don't want to beat yourself up too much about it. And then you prevent yourself from being able to accomplish other things that you could have accomplished had you been having a different mindset about the challenges that you face. Yeah? So, everyone, that is the little message that the organization would like to put out to you all. And I'm just saying it from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of the entire organization. Congratulations to all of you on your accomplishment. You wrote the exam. It may not have been the results that you wanted in all cases. That is okay. Life goes on. I can't remember the last time somebody asked me about my C.S.E.C results or my C.A.P.E results. Not saying that it's not important, but what I'm saying is everything has its time, everything has its season. And one day, you are going to move past this situation. You're going to look back and you're going to laugh and you're going to tell yourself, I remember when I thought that I was never going to be able to become successful because I didn't get the results that I wanted. And then you may be the one out there sharing with other people, letting them know, here is one. I didn't do this so well. But you know what? It didn't stop me. It made me hungry. It made me want to do more. It reminded me that here what? Life is unpredictable. Unexpected things will happen. So expect the unexpected. And it's not about how hard you could hit, but how hard you could get hit and keep moving forward. And always remember that ChildLine is there to provide you all with any level of support that you think you may need through our helpline service. You can contact us 800-4321. The helpline numbers, they are all 131. It's available 24/7, any phone at all. So call that number, talk to one of the listeners, share your thoughts. If you need just a little motivation, a little pep talk, a little perspective, they're there and they're ready and they're waiting. The organization is here to support you all. Know that you're not doing this alone and forgive yourself. Do yourself that favor. Yeah? So, with that being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching the video. Please feel free to share this video with anyone who you think may need to hear this particular message. Like, comment, and should you have any particular topics that you'd like ChildLine to address on our social media platforms, please feel free to comment it under our posts or reach out to us via any of our social media platforms. We have ChildLine TT, which is our Facebook page. We also have ChildLine Trinidad and Tobago, so you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us also on Twitter and also on Instagram at the same handle. So, everyone, I want to wish you all a great day. Have a good one. Keep safe. And remember, it's all part of life. You just got to roll with the punches. Just roll with the punches, and all will be well. All will be well. It may not seem so now, but one day it will all make sense. Thanks very much for watching. And like I said, call us if you need us.